Miller.
Okay. Rich, one of the questions that we've started with everybody so far is, in a nutshell, how would you describe Mount Miguel?
Sure. Mount Miguel to me is a place where it's my home away from home, and even though I work here, I really look at the residents and the campus as part of my extended family. And when you walk around the campus, I think it's you get that feeling where you're well loved by the residents. And I can't tell you how many times where I'll go on the campus and hear residents saying how they're praying for you or praying for another staff. And to me, that's really touching. Sorry, we need to do another take.
I know. Here we go.
I mean, the first. I mean, you could probably use the first.
It's like,
sorry.
It never snows in Southern California.
It's like stuff dropping.
The plane came by at the same time.
Well, that was probably good timing where we ended it because of the plane. But yeah, we have a very caring, compassionate group of staff and residents. And I don't know if you know my background or not, but when I had left Mount Miguel to go on to the East Coast, I had an opportunity out there, and I've come back now, of course, as my current role. And when I was away, I missed it. And then when I came back, it just reiterated the fact that how great it was to be back here in Mount Miguel at a place that I had a lot of fond memories. There's a lot of residents who embraced me, welcomed me back, staff as well. And if you think about the leadership change that they just went through, for me, I had some big shoes to fill, but the fact of the matter is residents have really welcomed me. And it's an honor to serve the residents and the staff here. And one of the things that I think is evident when you walk the grounds is the faith component, in our heritage and our mission. We're very mission-minded. We have a lot of pastors, missionaries, teachers, and people that really do great work, and they want to extend that work that they've always been doing throughout their lives and their career to our staff. And I think that really helps foster the relationship that we have with one another. And if you talk to a lot of our staff who have been here, a lot of them have been here 20, 25, 30 years. And I think part of the reason why they're here is that long is the residents that are here. And so it's certainly a privilege and an honor to serve in that capacity.
Give me a brief history of this community. Is it brand new? Has it been here for 50 years or?
Sure. Back in 1942, a man by the name of Emil Cavaline, he was a retired railroad executive and a Covenant church member. He had a vision to establish a faith-based Christian community in suburban San Diego County. Because of his age, he knew that he would never be able to see that come to fruition, even though he started to raise money for that effort. But he introduced himself to a man by the name of Jess Bailey, who took over the fund and took over that effort. And through a number of different meetings, he was eventually led to a man by the name of Paul Brandel, who was the chairperson of the Covenant Ministries of Benevolence in Chicago. Through that relationship, that eventually helped to develop our campus. In the 1960s, when Spring Valley was just starting to grow, they identified the property that we're at today. It was only 8 acres at the time, but the reason why they chose this area was because of the church, the Covenant Church across the street at the time. It was only 8 acres, so what Paul Brandel did is he bought an adjoining property, 20 acres, and donated it to the fund and the cause of Mount Miguel. And so in 1965, our campus moved in its first resident. And here we are now, over 50 years, enjoying this 20-acre campus, an oasis in the heart of Spring Valley, and we have about 400 plus residents and 200 staff 50 years later.
Location-wise, you're not in the heart of San Diego, but residents can take advantage of the proximity and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, even though we seem like we're out on the eastern part of San Diego County, we're 20 minutes from downtown, 20 minutes from Coronado, one of the country and maybe one of the world's best beaches. We've got shopping 5 minutes from here. We've got great shopping to the east, and so you can enjoy the desert. And we're right at the edge of the marine layer, which oftentimes hovers over the ocean, and we get a lot more sunshine. So that's why a lot of people really enjoy living at Mount Miguel is the weather and its proximity to a lot of great world-class things.
Okay. Mount Miguel is part of the larger CRC system. How do staff and residents benefit from that relationship with CRC?
Sure. I think the benefit there, at least from my vantage point, is the fact that our residents and our staff really get support that if you were at a standalone facility you would not necessarily have. And by support I mean you can utilize the resources to help you make decisions about programming, to financial direction. I think there's a lot of benefits with respect to how large CRC is and how well respected they are within the industry, that they have a voice. I think also it gives them a lot of opportunities to really develop the campus through construction, through projects that would be a lot more difficult for us to do if we were by ourselves. And so I think another thing too is the fact that it insulates us as well from some of the financial downfalls. I mean, everybody's going to be impacted to some degree as the market ebbs and flows, but I think it also helps make us a little bit more dependent on the larger organization. If you're a standalone, you wouldn't necessarily have that comfort or that opportunity to really cushion the blow.
Do you think that makes a difference for the residents when they're considering moving here or whatever, that you are one of many?
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, if I were a resident, I would have a more comfort level knowing that this organization has been around 120 plus years, and so as a result, I don't know that a lot of places as large as us and smaller than us can't say that they've been around 120, 130 years, and so as a result, I think that gives a lot of people comfort in knowing that we're doing something well. Not to be arrogant by any measure, but I think the comfort in knowing that it's been faith-based Christian ran for 130 years, and it as large as it is, I think would give somebody comfort that hopefully we'll be around 20, 30, 120 more years from now.
Exactly. How does Inspired to Serve, Life Connect, and Cyto all play into the resident experience?
Sure. Well, I think it's a real market differentiator for us, and by that I mean when you come to the campus, you really get a feeling of how active our community is. And so one of the things that I hear, and it's actually a compliment, is there's too much things to do. And I give a lot of credit to our Life Connect program, our wellness philosophy, where we look at the 8 different dimensions of wellness, and our staff really take that seriously. And so what they do is they work together with the residents in order to identify areas of interest that person or those groups of residents are interested in, and try to develop a program that's unique to their own needs. With Cyto, I mean, what an awesome thing to see the benefits that our residents are receiving through the Cyto programming. And so for residents who have memory impairments, to watch somebody go over a 6-month point of time, go from not really being that verbal, and to then seeing them remembering things and audibly communicating what they were remembering in 6 months' time is just an amazing thing. And so our staff really understand the importance of our programming through our Life Connect, through the Cyto piece. I also, as far as the Inspired to Serve piece is concerned, it's great to see our staff and our residents recognizing our staff for the great things that they're doing every day. And no, they're not writing. If you go down and you go over the course of the next few weeks and you start seeing all the great things that they're doing, our staff are really going above and beyond in many ways. One thing that comes to mind is I'm going to use Margot Buell as an example of, when we were in our old building and she was in her old office, there was a resident who would walk up towards her office every day to the dining room, and she would sort of navigate up the hill very slowly. And one of the things that I think was apparent, and who we have working at the campus, is that when Margot would see this person coming up the hill, Margot would get up from her desk, walk around the corner, anticipate that resident was going to walk through that door, hold the door open for her, and then have a service moment and really make that person's day. The resident wasn't expecting that, but that's who Margot is, and that's the type of people that we have working here, people who really deeply care to do the little details to really make the residents' lives here a little bit better.
Anything you want to add at all? You guys seem like this gem of a retirement community out here that maybe some people haven't heard of, or just aren't familiar with what it's all about.
Sure. I think one of the things that stands out that I would add is our faith. There's some communities out in San Diego County that are faith-based, but there's not a lot of them. And I think those that are have sort of gotten away from being and advertising the faith component. And I think we're taking sort of the opposite approach. We're being bold in our faith, but not offensive. We embrace everybody, but I think that's attractive to those who are looking for a community that really wears its faith on its sleeve and really walks its walk and lives its mission. And so I think for people who are looking for that in San Diego County, we have hundreds and maybe thousands of churches throughout San Diego County who want to come to a faith-based Christian community. I mean, here we are. I mean, we're in a beautiful climate, beautiful backdrop, and we're faith-based Christian community. There's a lot of great things that are really attractive to people that we offer.
Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that, by the way.
Yeah.